I'm Holly Lynch, I'm the Labour MP for Halifax, and I've been approached by now up to 13 constituents who have all been impacted by what I can only describe as a scandal upon a scandal. We've known for a number of years that there have been constituents who are approached by cavity wall insulators saying that they could have a government funded scheme where they'd have insulation in their walls. Unfortunately, I can only describe some of these companies as cowboys because that cavity wall insulation has done damage to people's homes and properties, creating mould, damp and damaging their homes. They were then approached by legal firms saying they would take on their cases on a no-win, no-fee basis. When SSB law folded, those constituents then received enforcement notices for thousands and thousands of pounds telling that they had to pick up that legal bill that they had no idea they were eligible for. Not only have they suffered this damage to their properties that should never have happened in the first place, they've then got these thousands of pounds legal bills that they've been told they have to pay. We think that there are hundreds, possibly thousands of people affected by this across the north. I've raised it in the House of Commons and other MPs have as well. This issue around poor quality cavity wall insulation costing people hundreds if not thousands of pounds to correct should never have been allowed to happen. These were government finance schemes that should have been regulated properly in the first place. They weren't. That is the first scandal and injustice. Secondly, we need to have a look at the regulation of law firms to make sure something like this can never happen again. If there's a legal loophole where somebody signs up on a no-win, no-fee basis, but then that law firm collapses, they shouldn't be eligible for those legal fees which are now absolutely driving people into debt, poverty and abject fear about how they're going to respond to this. The government needs to do a comprehensive review of how this injustice has been allowed to happen. I'm going to keep fighting for that in Parliament.
My name's Nigel Goody and I'm from Halifax. It's affected me personally. For the last 4.5 years I didn't know how to repair my house. I was under the impression that it was going to get a court case and get paid and all the damages, and then I got nothing back at all. I got a letter out of the blue in August to say the court case had been dropped because he couldn't win it, and the next thing in October I had bailiffs on the door knocking for a massive debt that I'd incurred. I would like the authorities to make more legislation towards these rogue traders who do the business, to do the job in the first place, and people like SSB Law that come in and try to make money out of it. To say I was shocked and stunned would be an understatement. I went into panic mode. I phoned up SSB Law and they said, oh, it's a mistake, don't worry, we'll sort it out. We passed on to the finance department. Nothing happened for a week. Phoned them back up again, said, we'll sort it out, it should have been sorted. We put it onto the finance department again and I said, should I phone the enforcement agency? They said, no, leave it with us. I decided to phone them anyway. And they came around and sorted it out. Unfortunately, my debt was actually cleared by the end of October, but I didn't know anything about it until the beginning of October. One personal friend of mine has been affected, and there's quite a few people out there who are in the same boat, but a lot worse than me, where they haven't got the debts paid. It's made me feel very angry. You take on these things in good faith and good trust, and you think they come along with a cold call and they're going to do all the right things for you. And you just get let down after 4.5 years of waiting for it to get just dropped like a hot potato. Not fun.
You know, it's very, very terrible scam, and it affects me too much. I can't work properly. We can't sleep, me and my wife, you know, and it affects our daily business as well. And the amount what is mentioned in the enforcement notice, it's always revolve in my mind, and wherever I go I have to have this notice in mind all the time that I have to pay 18,000-19,000, and yeah, I feel terrible, you know, why I have to pay this amount, because I can't explain it, because the thing is, the company came in my property and they have a contract with me with no win, no fee. But I don't know what they are doing behind the scene, but at the end, I got the enforcement notices that I have to pay this amount. This is shocking, for me, and it affects my daily business, daily, daily life as well. My kids, ask me that, Dad, why have you done anything wrong? Why are you paying this amount? And the enforcement agent, one day they came in my property, and my kids were getting ready for the schools, and the enforcement, he phoned me from my son's mobile, and soon I picked him. I said, hello, and the enforcement agent, he speaks on the other hand, and I got a note that is something wrong in my property. And then my son knows that I have to pay, and he said that, Dad, I don't want to be homeless. And after that, I decided that I will pay this amount, no matter I have to pay or not. I need to get rid of this problem. I'm very, 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 I can't explain this, what affects it.
It was in around 2015. Roughly, I'm saying, like, my neighbor rang and they said there's a company came and they want to do insulation to make the houses more warmer.
Okay.
And they said it's from the government. So you all guys are eligible to do that. You want to do it? I said, yeah, if everybody is doing and it's government
And you heard it was
safe
a
for
government
us,
scheme.
and I was at work and I said, yeah, that's fine. 2016, I had a pneumonia, really seriously, because my house started molding.
Okay.
And I had a pneumonia, and my son has a pneumonia as well. And I went to the hospital with sepsis, with 5 flag blue siren. I went to the hospital with sepsis pneumonia.
Okay.
And I didn't know that a mold can be that dangerous to us, but it was moldy. I keep changing my wallpaper, I keep changing my house decoration and everything. I didn't think about it. Then there's a gentleman came into my street with a paper and pen, and he said to me, like, some companies came to do and damage your property. You want to claim against them? And I said, no. I said, please leave us alone, because some of them came and they said, this has happened. Now you came now and telling me like you're going to fix it. So I'm not interested because I don't have any time. There's a company came, SSB Law.
Yeah.
And the gentleman who dealing us called Nigel. He was their representative, and they asked me like, this is happening, lots of people are involved. So what I'm saying, as an innocent person, as an innocent citizenship, we are all said yes, if it's law, it's SSB Law, is a big company, so they're definitely going to help us. I said, yeah, I've been involved. What going to be happen? They said we're going to be claim against us, and you're going to be medical, negligence and everything. So your case is quite brighter. So you need to put your stuff inside. Give me your discharge letter from hospital, which I provided. He took the pictures from my house. He saw the mold and everything. I gave the evidence of my son had a stitching in lungs. And he was, he said, your case is very strong, and he keep asking every time, sign this paper, sign this paper. So it's come through via email, and we keep signing, we keep giving them, it says no win, no fee. We asked them, like, do we need to pay anything? And they said, no, you don't need to pay anything, you don't need to worry about it, we will do everything for you. 5th of December, I came home, and there was a letter in my house. It says enforcement letter, and I was middle of the night, and I said, maybe it's a prank, maybe it's not true. What is this letter for? Because there's nothing written there. It says you owed 17,700 something you need to pay, otherwise bail-lifting people came and they do. That was the shocking. Middle of the night, I've been ringing around I've got one mortgage advisor. I rung her. She was on the phone with me. She texted me. She said, have you borrowed money from anyone? I said, no, I haven't borrowed any money. She said, have you taken any loan? I said, no, I haven't taken any loan. But I don't know what is this. So then there was a company name, Alliance Company, insurance company's name on it. We owe to them.
Royal Sun Alliance.
Royal Sun Alliance. And I said to my daughter, I said, who they are? We don't know. So she searched and searched and searched and searched whole night. Next morning, she's thinking, Mom, I'm not sure. Maybe that's linked to cavity wall because it's SSB law. Then we start ringing SSB law. They're not answering the phone. Then I ring the enforcement people. They said, no, my name is in County Court Leeds. Can you imagine? I'm a defaulter. My whole credit history has been demoted. My credit card has been suspended. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep for 1 second those 10 days to arrange the money. First I was thinking I sold my jewelry. And then when I go to jewelers, it's not much more worth of the money. Then my daughter and my son-in-law, they helped me. I spoke with my sister. She's my friend and she's my boss as well. She's told me fill N94 or 9242 form to send it to the court and ask them. They can give you some time. So I sent it. But then ring the Leeds court. I ring there and they said, you have to pay because your name is there. There's money you have to pay for it. I don't know how we survive. I don't know why they done to us. And it's like my daughter, she's on Facebook. She saw so many people are crying in the same situation. There's one lady, she was 70-year-old. She need to pay 38,000. In my street, another person, she paid 15,000. It's not only one person, it's so many people. It's really hard for me, and I'm just every day thinking, how am I going to be paid this money back? I know I pay the bill to the court because I don't want to be put my name into the Leeds County Court, stay as a defaulter. It's affected my mortgage, it's affected my credit history, it's affected my daily life. It's embarrassment. So I pay the bill. I have to pay those 18,000. I don't know how I'm going to pay.
We'll do everything that we possibly can to get you some justice, what you've been through, I promise you. I'm so sorry that this has happened to you. Some of the local people who've contacted me for help, these bills, these legal bills, enforcement actions telling them that they owe in some circumstances £22,000, £32,000. A lot of these enforcement notices dropped just before Christmas, completely out of the blue. People are telling me that this has ruined their lives. These were people who were approached because they were eligible for the cavity wall insulation schemes in the first place, often because they were in receipt of some form of welfare support. These are people who are just about managing or already on the poverty line. They've then got these thousands of pound bills that they just can't afford. It's an absolute travesty. If you've been affected, please do go to your MP. We are going to have to work together to try and get government to respond to this, and the other regulators who really should have been involved in the start and are working on it now. This is all helping to raise the profile of the scale of the injustice so we can try and get a fair solution for those people who've been so affected by this absolute scandal.